welcome to the Fandom Show, the podcast where we learn about fantastic fandoms by talking to our favorites about their favorites. I'm Kaya Green.
And I am Stephanie Malik.
And today we are talking about a soap opera that sat in the #1 spot for daytime ratings for 34 years.
Oh my gosh.
Today we are talking about
Kaya,
The Young and the Restless.
This show is as old as you.
That's right.
That's wild.
It's
number
older
one
than me.
spot.
It's older than me. It's 50 years old. It recently turned 50 years
What?
old in 2023.
More like Old and the Restless, am I right?
Heyo.
Heyo. No.
Just settle down over there.
I'm full of beans.
But yes, it has been in the #1 spot for as long as I have been alive.
Is it currently in the '1 spot?
I don't know that part. I got this from an article that was written in 2023, so it could be longer.
Oh my gosh. I love this.
Anyway, Young and the Restless. That's
Young and
what
the
we're talking about.
Restless.
This sounds like I know a lot about it. I don't. I just read about it today.
Yeah, Kaya, what do you know about The Young and the Restless?
Truly nothing. Truly nothing at all. I know it's a soap opera.
Yes.
Okay, I guess I lied. I know that it's a soap opera.
Okay.
And I know that it is sometime, because I know there's a number of different soap operas, but they cover sort of different topics. And I think this one was like slightly more like sexy.
Okay.
But I don't know that for sure.
Okay.
I might be wrong about that.
Okay.
So that was my impression of it. That it was like younger and more with the times, hence young and
A bit
restless.
restless.
That's right.
Okay.
And I also know it is somehow related to Bold and the Beautiful, I think.
Is it? Okay, we've got some nods in our peripheral vision.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess we'll find out a little more about that later. Anyway,
Yeah.
Steph, what do you know about Young and the Restless?
So, nothing. I know nothing. When I started to look for stuff from this episode, I saw a man's face and I was like, I recognize that man. I've seen that man's face, but I don't know anything about it. And then there was a lady, a blonde, and I was like, I recognize her face. And I also know nothing about who she is or her character. So the faces are familiar. The show itself, deeply unfamiliar.
Excellent. So
I was never really a soap opera kid or youth. I guess my soap operas were like teen soap operas, like a Dawson's Creek or like that type of vibe.
yeah,
The adult
Melrose
stuff,
Place, that kind of situation for you.
give me a Melrose Place all day long. I'll go to town. I guess, but that was adults. They were young and restless.
Yeah, I feel like my best comparison to this is like Grey's Anatomy, like a primetime soap.
Okay. But this, I think, is a daytime soap.
Yes, exactly, which is a whole different situation.
It's a different situation.
Whole different situation.
Look, you and I could wax on and on about the stuff we don't know about this show, but you know who does know so much about this?
Okay, I've started to get the pattern. I think it's our guest.
I love you so much, and I'm so mad at you right now. Nicky Nasrallah, who was our 4th ever guest on this show, is an actor and comedian who's maybe been seen in Queen Tut on Crave or Far Cry 6 by Ubisoft or other less impressive credits like some local comedy festivals or Second City. We did not write this.
Just for the record.
He's also a drag queen known as Selena Vile. You need to check her out, who hosts Canada's longest running drag brunch weekly at Glad Day Bookshop, which is soon to be relocating. So make sure to check that out. And is one half of drag comedy duo Yas and Vile. Nikki, welcome back.
Oh,
Nikki!
I was so excited to be here. When I got the call, I screamed. It was like I was nominated for an Oscar. I was so excited.
Yes. Oh, I'm so delighted. And for some context, people should know that this was brought up as one of your option fandoms for the very first episode we had you on.
I do want to say I didn't have a choice. You brought me on here specifically to talk about Drag Race.
That is true. Yes.
Because you got us into Drag Race.
Yes, I was your gateway into
That's
Drag
right.
Race.
Right. And we wanted to do a Drag Race episode,
Yes.
so it had to be you. But at the time, you mentioned I could also do this one.
And you were like, yeah, one day.
One day.
Yeah.
And today is that day.
Here, and I'm so excited that it is.
Today is that day.
We kept our promise. It just took years.
It just took 3 years. We're fine.
I know how it goes. It's all good.
So we're so delighted to finally get to talk about this.
Okay, we're going to start at the very beginning.
very
Let's
good place to
pretend
start.
somebody here doesn't know anything about The Young and the Restless.
Somebody, anyway.
How would you explain it? What's your entry pitch?
The Young and the Restless is the top soap opera. It is, so basically what a soap opera is, because I think some people don't really understand. It is a daily television program in the afternoon. Soap operas were originally created as a radio show. They started on the radio. Guiding Light was one of the first soap operas. It started on the radio, and then that show transitioned onto television. So they started in the black and white days. Y&R didn't come onto the scene until the 70s, and they were called soap operas because they were kind of marketed towards housewives to sell soap.
That explains a lot. I
Yes.
had a feeling it was something in that realm, but I never actually knew for sure whether
Yeah.
that was true. Okay, that makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
So Young and the Restless in particular, the main themes around it are like corporate drama. There's the two big conglomerates, Newman Enterprises and Jabot Cosmetics, which incidentally is what I named my two cats after.
Oh,
May
cute.
they both rest in peace, but the companies are still alive on the Young and the Restless. And there's a lot of Love in the Afternoon. Love in the Afternoon was a big soap opera thing. Like in the 90s, it was like Love in the Afternoon because like women would just watch people have sex on TV. It was great.
Oh my gosh.
So basically, like you'll find a cast of characters of about probably at least 30 people.
That's so wild.
Yeah, and that way, because it films every single day, there's 5 shows a week, every week throughout the year. They only take a break for like March Madness, which is like a big basketball thing. What? Yeah. And so because there's so much, they have so many characters, so you don't constantly have to be on the show. You can you could film all your episodes and then
Right.
they'll air over time, and then they'll have enough characters to like supplement if somebody is taking a vacation, and yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is an absolutely bonkers schedule.
Oh my God. It is, a lot of actors say that it is the best schedule for an actor.
Yeah.
Because they usually film in 2 blocks. One of them will be like 8 a.m. to noon, and then the other one would be like noon to like 6 p.m. I don't even know those times made sense. I've just made them up. But it's like a morning block and an afternoon block. And you're either filming in one, and then you film like 5 episodes in one day, and then you get to go home to your family. Like people who are on soap operas, that's why a lot of actors stay on their show and play their characters forever. Like there's several characters in Young and the Restless who have been on since as long as I've been born.
I feel like it's the type of job that like once you get it, like you don't give it up.
You don't give it up.
Because especially if you're there a long time, you get more and more money as you go on.
The only people who give it up are the young hot ones who move on to things.
They get
people
restless?
like John Stamos, Demi Moore, Julianne Moore, Mira Sorvino, Lauryn Hill. They've all come from soap operas as young, sexy actors who've moved on to bigger careers.
Yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar was originally
Yes.
on a
All My Children.
soap just before just before Buffy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you get into this show? Like, were you like homesick and you're like,
It's the same way as everybody gets into this particular show. Everybody gets into a soap opera through their grandmother or their mother. And it usually is
So accurate.
right? And it usually is staying homesick. But the thing with Young and the Restless, the reason why this is probably the biggest soap opera in Canada at least, and I know it isn't in the States at least, but the reason in Canada specifically is because we got it at 4:30 p.m. So it was after school. So you'd be home in time to watch it. So everybody watched it. Everybody was watching it when I was growing up.
really?
Yeah. But in the fun fact, the reason why in Canada in particular is because we would get the show the day before it aired in the States.
Is that right?
So it aired at 4:30 p.m. on Global in Canada, and then the next day in the States at 12:30 on CBS.
Which, when you're talking about a daily show,
Daily.
that's huge to have one whole day ahead of everybody else. It's not like, oh, we're going to have, a weekly show on a Tuesday instead of a Wednesday. It's like new plot has come out by the time they've caught up.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we'd get the cliffhanger like on the Thursday instead of the Friday.
And Canada already knows what's happening.
Yeah.
Is that still the case now? Is it still,
Yes.
we still get it early?
Yeah, so I've been on a multitude of forums over the years, and the current one that I'm on is called Canadian YNR Junkie Spoilers or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do the Americans hate that? Because the spoilers are online?
No, they love spoilers. They love spoilers.
What?
They wait such a short period of time for
It
them.
makes them feel because it's all like housewives, right?
Of course.
So it's like they feel so powerful knowing what's gonna happen.
Oh,
they just do. They just feel
okay.
powerful. Yeah.
They can see it coming and go, this is going to be good. Gotta go buy my soap.
And okay, I'm so curious about the types of stories they tell on this because over the course of 50 years, I can only imagine that every single type of story imaginable has been on this particular program.
How many
You're not
brothers
wrong.
and twins? How many people have slept with the twin?
How many deaths? How many cheatings?
I knew this was going to come up. Here's the thing. My gripe with it these days. Okay, I need to go through. Can I?
Yes.
May I?
Literally what you're
The
here for.
floor
So,
is yours.
The Youngest was created by William Bell. He created it in 1973. And the reason why it was at the top for so long is because of his storytelling style, which was based more in realism. Whereas like Days of Our Lives was doing like aliens and Marlena being possessed by the devil, and then you had Passions with a doll coming to life by a witch. Like all that.
Passions I knew was a bit out to lunch.
That's very like supernatural. They like go down to hell at some point, I think.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But The Young and the Restless, you would never find a storyline like that. It was all based in reality and social issues. They were really good at that. So they were one of, if not the first daytime soap opera to tackle HIV.
Whoa.
And they did it in the 80s, and it wasn't a gay character.
Holy shit.
Yeah, somebody's mother
amazing.
contracted it. So yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. And anyway, so it was always the most like, realistic show of all. And the storylines really like took their time. You were really invested in the characters. They really spent their time building up these characters. Bill Bell passed away in the early 2000s. And he passed the torch on to Kay Alden, who was his right hand, who was like his assistant head writer for probably the last like 2 decades. And then when she took over, she kind of like kept a legacy going, but at some point she was removed from the show. And then they started
removed from the show.
Yeah, she was fired, I guess. And then they started cycling through an array of different head writers, and then storylines started going wild. And so
that's never good.
So many different face storylines where they'll bring back an actor who was dead, and then they're playing somebody who made their face look like that character who died, and then and there's so many long lost siblings. Everybody turned out to be related to somebody. Everyone was finding out their bloodline was a lie the whole time.
Wow.
And it just got to a point where I'm like, this isn't the show I grew up with. It's not. But do I still watch it every single day? Yes, I do.
Oh, I mean, that's so much content. How can you not?
It's true.
How can you
once
not?
you're invested in the overall like world that you've been watching, you're like, I just got to keep going.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I can't give up on it now.
No.
People have, but I have not.
No. And you won't, I don't think.
I will not.
No.
What would you say is the most outlandish plot line that has happened on the show?
Okay, a lot of the not mistaken identity, but like stealing somebody's identity things. So there've been too many of those. So
If you had to ballpark a number of how many fake identities there have been.
in the last 10 years, I would probably say there's been at least 15.
What?
My God.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. It's too many.
At some point, it's like, fool me once.
Yes.
Shame on me.
Yes.
Whatever that saying
Well,
is.
either way, shame on us.
Shame on everyone. That's at some point, get Face ID on your phone, you know? Protect yourself.
Protect yourself.
Yes.
Cybersecurity is important.
But if someone's stealing your face, the Face ID is kind of busted.
That's true.
That's
the
true.
face thing is wild.
Yeah.
Is it really just a device to get actors back?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, or to give this actor an extra something to do.
Yeah. Right.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I don't like it.
So what do you think sets this one apart from all the other soap operas?
I think I've said it already. You know what it is? The acting. They have better acting and production on this show. They've always been kind of ahead of the curve in terms of production. I'm sure that they have more money to put behind the show than others because it's been at number one.
Yeah.
And by the way, that statistic of it's been number one since 1992 or 93.
Something like that, yep.
That is weekly. Like number one every single consecutive week. They have never been knocked out of that spot.
Wow.
Yeah, and in the 90s, there were 13 different soap operas. I think at one point there were 14. Currently, 4 airing.
Wow.
Actually, they just created a new one, which is unheard of in this day and age because
Yeah.
nobody's watching soap operas anymore.
Which is surprising because people love serial drama.
Yes,
Yeah.
but nobody's home in the daytime anymore.
That's true.
Because moms aren't home anymore. Every double income families everywhere, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So that market is gone. Kids aren't paying attention to that anymore.
Yep.
There used to be a thing in like the 80s and 90s where in the summertime they loaded their shows up with teens. So that's why they always had people having kids, and then they would age the kids, and then the kids would be teenagers, and they would have a really hot summer storyline, right?
Right.
And that would get the kids who were home from school in the summertime addicted to the show.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore. They don't bother with the kids at all anymore.
Wow. So
Yeah.
they just like stick to their core audience, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because television doesn't work the way it used to, right? Like no one's sitting watching
Yeah.
a television anymore.
Okay, speaking of how things have changed, I'm so
Yes.
curious because, like, obviously there are some long-running shows out there. The Simpsons, Grey's Anatomy has been going
Yes.
for a very long time. Also has many long-lost siblings. Wow.
Oh God, really?
So it just keeps finding
Oh,
new
Meredith Grey has
siblings
like
for Meredith
13
Grey.
sisters right
Oh,
now.
It's
no.
wild. They just keep trying to find someone who can replace her, and she'll never be replaced. It seems. Anyway, so my question is, how has the show evolved over? Because 50 years—that's a lot of time for television to evolve, for technology to evolve, for social issues to evolve.
For corporations to evolve.
Yeah, it must have changed so drastically. In what ways?
Okay, I don't know if this is where you're leading me, kind of, but in one way, in recently, what I've noticed is they're using a lot more like therapy language.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, like they're treating subject of mental illness, which like back in the day used to mean you were the villain, used to mean you were the psychopath that they had to kill.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of treated as like an issue, and like oh, we recognize that you're dealing with something, and like they just and they're very they talk through situations, and like I see, and like they just use language that's very like conducive to like helping someone through a problem.
Which is wild because when you think
Yeah.
about soap operas, you think about like people slapping each other and
Yes.
just like big
And that's what
drama.
happens. That's
Okay,
what
good.
happens.
Okay.
Oh, good.
As long as someone's burning someone else's house down, you know, that's very important.
Can't miss that part.
Yeah, but there's very like you know how like there's always like those misunderstandings where someone says something and then someone gets angry and then they break up and then they leave. Now it's like they talk through and like, okay, I understand what you were going through at this time, and like I want to be here for you. Like it gets into that territory, and I'm like,
Wow.
what's happening right now? I like this.
Do you enjoy it narratively too? Like, does it?
I find that there's less focus when they're building a storyline.
Ah, okay.
Because right now, a problem I'm having with Young and the Restless is that there's too much mystery. They keep dropping the hint of someone going through something, and it's because of something that happened, and you'll start to get like little flashbacks of something that we didn't see on air, and then we have to put the pieces together as an audience. That's not fun for us as an audience.
Right.
As an audience, we like to know what's going on and then watch the other characters try to figure it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. That dramatic irony of like, the
And the problem is
audience.
they're doing it too much right now. It's like every storyline has to be like this, and it's like, stop. Another way, so back in the late 70s, early 80s, it was somewhere between 1978 and 1982, somewhere around there. The lead character of Catherine Chancellor, who was like the legacy character on the show,
Okay.
was about to have a lesbian storyline.
Gasp.
In
Yes.
the 70s,
In the
80s?
Yes. So
Wow.
Bill Bell wrote
That's
this
huge.
storyline for her, and there was a backlash.
Yeah.
The audience was not having it.
Yep.
So he cut the storyline, just like abruptly stopped it, and then vowed never to touch the subject matter again.
Whoa.
And the show never did until very recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that all
wild.
queer characters or just specifically lesbian
All queer characters.
What?
That is.
Yeah, he just didn't touch the subject of queerness at all until after he died. Then they brought in another character, and they used homosexuality in a very sinister way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's been known to happen.
Yeah. And so that was like early 2000s, and then lately there's a lesbian couple, and they're married and they have a baby.
Oh,
Cute.
Yeah.
That's
I'm so
nice.
happy for them.
Yeah, Mariah and Tessa, and their couple name is Messa.
I bet the fans love it.
Yeah.
Because if there's one thing I know about lesbian nerds is they really, really get into their fandom.
Oh yeah. I mean, I actually don't really know because the message boards that I'm in are all like women in their like 70s, but they were not having it.
No.
Oh no.
This is not what he intended.
No.
Was there a lot of that?
Oh yeah, I was in those message boards being like, hey, and I made a few friends, like not friends, but like I'd be like, yeah, thanks for backing me up on this like one comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you made friends in the message boards that you like talk to?
Ew. Okay, so not ew to the concept of that. Ew to like this one situation in my head where there's a person who now has me blocked because we don't agree on certain issues. But he was a gay comedian who was living in Berlin at the time.
Okay.
And he was like, you love Young and the Restless, I love Young and the Restless. We're both gay guys from Canada, but he was living there. And we're both comedians. And he would like send me his comedy of him doing like bits about Young and the Restless for a German audience. And they were like, huh? And there was like quiet. And I was like, first of all, you're not funny. And second of all, why are you doing this material there?
Yeah, they don't
Nobody
have
gets
context.
Huge mistake.
Yeah. So like we were kind of became like online friends, like circa like 2011. But I don't know. He's currently in a bunker, literally. So he has to be blocked. We don't talk.
Oh, okay. Huge drama.
Yeah.
Huge drama. No one who has not hung out on a message board will understand the drama of message boards.
Yes. Oh, they're so dramatic.
Truly
Yeah.
their own soap.
Yeah.
I love that.
Let's see that soap.
Is this a subreddit, like a Reddit that you go to, or is it like its own
It's
website?
a Facebook message board.
Oh, I love it.
My God.
I mean, you have to think of the demographic you were talking about.
Yeah, it is on
They
Facebook.
don't-
I know my audience. Yes.
Do not know
Incredible.
about Reddit. I do not know about that. No.
So we've talked a bit about like the show itself and like the themes, but can you tell us like the 3 most notable characters or couples that define the show? Like
Nikki and Victor. Oh, sorry. Go on.
I was like a McDreamy or and Meredith on Grey's Anatomy.
Didn't need an example.
Okay. Nikki and Victor, they are the 2 legacy characters.
So that's the blonde woman and the
Yes.
the dark-haired
Mustache
man.
man.
Yes. Okay, those are the 2 I recognize.
Yes, Eric Braeden, who is legendary. He's in the film Titanic playing John Jacob Astor.
Oh, that guy.
Yes.
Yeah,
he's-
okay.
He's German. He's incredibly progressive. He's on Twitter all the time yelling about Trump. I love him.
Hell yeah.
We
He's,
love
He
it.
can kick anybody's ass. He's in his 80s and he's still like out there boxing. He's amazing.
Cool.
But anyway, so he's been on the show since 1980. She joined in like 1979. And their love story started around early 1980s, so like probably 82, 83. They got married in 84 on the show in a big lavish wedding with a big dress. And the storyline was she was a troubled teen, and he found her in a strip club, and he was like a millionaire, now a billionaire, who found her in a strip club, and then wooed her, wined and dined her.
Classic Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
Classic
There's been a
Pretty Woman.
lot of ups and downs. They've been probably divorced and married 4 times, I think. They've had 4
Yeah,
weddings.
that seems like on par with probably what one would
Yes.
expect from
And
a
it's-
soap opera.
Yeah, and with a
Yes.
billionaire, they
Like-
can afford multiple weddings.
Yeah, but that's practically healthy, I'd say.
Are they together now?
They're currently together.
Huge.
Good
And you
for
know what's
them.
fun is like about like 5 or 6 years ago, they were in an open marriage.
What?
Wow.
So they were like, Nikki's cheating on Victor, and she's like, he knows. It was really hot. I
That's
was like, you're in your
fun.
60s and you're fucking living it up. I love it.
Get it, girl.
So that's like one of the main
Okay.
couples, and they're like the main family, the Newman family, right?
Okay.
So they're the main family of the show. Then another major couple is their son Nicholas and his wife, they haven't been married for 2 decades. Sharon. So they were a teen love story. So
Okay.
they joined the show in the 90s.
Like a hot summer romance?
Yes.
Get those teens in the door.
Exactly. Get the teens. It was one of those.
Yes.
Okay.
He was, his name is Joshua Morrow, and he was in a band in the 90s, a boy band called 3 Deep. If you'll remember, it went, so
What?
into you, no matter what I do, I'm so into you, I'm so into you, baby. You know it, baby.
It got there.
It's them.
Hey, okay.
Oh my goodness.
And
What's
his
a
other
name?
bandmate was Eddie Cibrian, who played his best friend on the show.
Oh.
So Eddie
Eddie's
Cibrian,
also tied into Real Housewives.
Brandy Glanville's
Yes. Okay,
ex-husband.
great. Okay, great. Thank you.
He's now
Slept with
Leanne
Sheena
Rimes.
Shea.
Yes.
Big drama. Anyway,
He was the
Huge.
sexiest guy in the 90s.
Eddie Cibrian was
So
very
hot. The
attractive.
dimples, very hot. So they were in a band together. Anyway, on the show, Nick and Sharon were like the next Victor and Nikki coming up. So they actually, they were one of the longest marriages on the show at the time. They were together for 10 years before they got divorced.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And
What caused the breakup?
so their daughter died in a car accident.
Oh.
And then
okay.
they grieved in different ways, and he cheated on her, and she was on the road to cheating on him, and then things went really
Real
sour.
Hamilton, eh?
Very Alexander Hamilton. And so they've gotten back together-ish a couple of times since, and almost got remarried but never did, and currently, like, they've always stayed in each other's lives, and they've always
Right.
had, like, a respect for each other, and they raised their kids beautifully together, and I think they're currently on the road to getting back together, but it hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
Yeah, because storylines take a very long time,
Oh,
right?
yes.
They gotta like stretch that shit
Oh,
out.
they
You have to do
love
5 a
stretch it
week.
out.
Yeah.
They love
It's like
to
a
stretch
Dragon
it.
Ball Z, you know? One fight takes 3 weeks because you're like, we gotta stretch it.
Yes.
Stretch it.
Yeah, yeah. Make it work. Make
Yeah.
it work.
Those are the 2 main ones. What would be the third one? Depends on what era you were talking about. If we're talking about today, I honestly don't even really know because they keep breaking. these days are just breaking people up left and right. So
Yeah.
it's very annoying. I guess it would be like Adam and Chelsea, like Victor's other son. But I think another great love story would probably be Neil and Drusilla.
Okay.
They got together in the 90s. She was a street kid, and then he was a businessman, and she was trying to get together with this other man, but then like that man wasn't interested in her sister. Anyway, they ended up like becoming this like power. It was a black family, so Weinar was very good from early on at having a core black cast on the show.
Whoa.
So most shows have like there are two main families and like a couple of black characters who are like side characters, but on YNR like they were part of the fabric of this of Genoa City.
That's great. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
expected that.
Yeah. YNR's always been one of the. It's a lot of black women love the show,
That's amazing.
and it's because of that. Yeah, they always like treated them with respect.
That's great. That's awesome. Because
Yeah.
I know at that time that was not common.
Right.
Yeah.
And they were like business corporate people, and they were doctors, and like they weren't really stereotypes. Even though Drusilla did come on as a street kid, but like her family actually did have wealth.
Right. Yeah, I did
Yeah.
read one interview with I forget who it was who was talking about how refreshing it was at that time
Mm-hmm.
to be playing a powerful character who didn't fit any of those stereotypes
Yeah.
for television. Even primetime TV wasn't doing that.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
awesome. Who is your favorite characters? Like, if you had to pick a top 3, who are your favorites of all time?
I have a top one,
A top 1. Oh.
and it's Phyllis Summers Ramalati Newman Abbott.
That is so
That's
many
all
names.
the last names. Sorry, say that again.
Oh God. Phyllis.
Yes.
You're writing them down. Summers
Yeah.
Ramalati.
Okay. Keep going.
It would be Abbott Newman, actually.
Oh, so it's got all the last names.
Yes, she's married a few of them.
I love that we asked you for 3 characters and you gave us 5 names for one person.
For one person. She is a fiery redhead. She came on as a villain. She was only supposed to be on for like 3 months, but she was such a firecracker when she came on.
When did she join?
94.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Is she still on the show?
Yes, she has left. She has come back. There's been a couple of recasts for her characters. She's been in a coma.
Oh,
Of
of
course.
course. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, gotta just shelve
No
characters.
soap operas without
sometimes.
comas.
She's won 2 Daytime Emmy Awards. I can recite her 1997 Best Supporting Actress speech right now if you would like me to. It goes
Yes.
like this. I'm in shock. I'm in absolute shock. I did not expect this in the least. Thank you so much, Bill Bell, Edward Scott, everyone at the Young and the Restless. You guys are dynamite. I love you. I was nominated with 4 of the most inventive, spontaneous actresses in daytime. There is no best tonight. I just got lucky. To my family at home who was going crazy, I love you guys. Thank you so much. And especially my beautiful love, my angel, Michael Dietz. They broke up after that. So if you go on YouTube and you look up that speech, that part is cut out.
Oh my! Bravo!
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Why do you know that?
I don't know. I recorded it and I watched it over and
my
over
God.
and over on VHS
I love
because I was
that
obsessed
so
with her.
much.
I went to a mall to meet her. I know one of your questions probably was the nerdiest thing you ever did in this fandom, but one of my answers to that
Way
already
ahead of us.
is going to be so they used to come to town.
Okay.
They used to go to different cities and towns, and they would do a mall appearance. Remember mall appearances?
Oh,
like,
yes.
Like Tiffany used
Classic.
to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, back
And
when the
so-
mall was the cool place
Back when
to
the mall
be.
was a place that you
That's
went
where-
to.
Yeah.
That's where they launched like TV shows. Like
Yeah.
Buffy did a mall tour.
They did.
I think so early on. I think they're part of like the WB tour.
Oh yeah, the WB absolutely
That's
would
so
have gotten
hot.
into malls. It's
Weinar
so
was-
hot.
Soap operas totally did that. And so I remember going to Carlingwood Mall, which was in the west end of Ottawa, and I had to travel to get there. I went on by a bus, and she was there and she did a mall appearance. And then I got a Polaroid taken with her. We used to it was Polaroid days. So yeah, they took
Delightful.
God.
Do you
Yeah.
still have that Polaroid? Of course you do.
No, I have a story behind it, and it's not an upsetting one. Anyway, I left an apartment and I subletted my room to someone else. And while I was away, I left all my stuff up for some reason, and then they put them all in boxes. And I was like, I'll get it one day, and I never did. And then they put it in a shed. And then one day they were like, so we came home one day and the shed was just gone. The landlord just like
What?
removed the shed and everything in it, and we don't know where your stuff is anymore.
What?
So
That's
That's
wild.
devastating.
yeah. Oh, I've never forgiven any of the parties involved for this, including myself for not picking it up earlier.
Oh my God.
Well, it'll always be in your heart.
Yes, I have a vivid memory of what the photo looked like. She had her hair pulled back in a ponytail. She was in a black turtleneck, but her belly was showing, and I was probably in a white T-shirt, and I was a dorky little 16-year-old.
Oh my God.
If you're listening and you came across a treasure trove of personal belongings inside a shed randomly, and there happened to be a Polaroid in there,
Oh my
help
God.
us get the Polaroid home.
We need so the Polaroid was in a frame with her headshot, and it was signed. Her headshot was black and white, and she was like wet and like a slip dress, like staring into the camera.
Attention, all nerds. if you have frequented Value Villages,
This is an APB out for you.
we need your help.
Help us return the photos.
This event would have happened in 2005.
Okay, that helps. That
It's been
narrows
20
things
years
down.
literally since I've lost it.
Wild. That'll make it even more magical when we get it back.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Sometimes you just got to put things out into the
Yeah.
universe and hope that it comes back to you.
I think we have the reach.
People pick up way stranger things at
It's
Value
true.
Village.
You never know. You never know. You never know. Okay, so is it just the character delighted you? What is it specifically that makes her your favorite character? Because she's a firecracker.
I've always been attracted to the bad girl.
Oh, love.
I've always been down for the bad girl.
We love.
right?
Who doesn't love a redhead?
Who doesn't? And a redhead.
A
in
villainous
particular.
redhead?
Come on.
Ooh,
Come
yes.
on.
I love it.
Yeah.
She'll do anything. So, and that is it. That's what I loved about her, is that she could do any, and she was so funny, and she had this like really like wild way about her. Like when she was, a lot of people hate her acting for the reason that I love her acting is
Okay.
because she is just so wild and so big and so like, she's so comedic too. She brings so much comedy into what she does, like as a villain. She gets into a cartoonish territory, but then she can also play the like, she can also devastate you and make you like lose control of your emotions. She's sexy. She was like never afraid to like seduce.
Ooh, feels like she can just hit all those marks.
Yes.
You know? The theater, the
Yeah.
drama,
The five
pathos.
names?
A friend of mine,
Five
a friend
names?
of mine
She's
gave me
married.
a cameo by her for my birthday last year.
Oh my gosh.
That's so nice.
And it was amazing. She went on for like 6 minutes, and she answered. She was like, for some reason, she was just like, "Oh, and there's my Emmy." She goes, "I normally don't do that. Why did I do that?" She goes, "I feel like you'd like that." And I was like, "I would." And then she's like, "Let's see. What do you want to know? What would you want to ask me? Like maybe like who's the best kisser?" And I'm like, "Yes, that's what I would want to ask." And she goes, "Well, it's like this guy and this guy." And I'm like, "Oh my God, you're doing all the things that I would ask you to do."
Oh my gosh.
And she just
Wow.
rambled for like 6. She's like, "I normally don't go this long, but I feel like you'd like it." And I'm like, "It's like you know who you're talking to."
I love
mean,
Cameo.
That's amazing.
It's such a cool thing.
There have been so many bad ones where it's like 45 seconds. Like, of
course.
"Hey, Crystal, happy birthday. I hope you're having a great day. It's me, whatever, who from whatever thing."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when they're good, they're so good.
my
Like
God,
your
yes.
Billy Boyd one is so good.
I have a really lovely Billy
Wait,
Boyd
who's
one.
Billy Boyd?
He played Pippin in Lord of the Rings. That's his biggest
I'm
one.
unfamiliar.
Yeah.
When you said Pippin, I was like, and then he's the Lord of the Rings. I went, oh.
Oh, yeah. He's the Scottish one.
Yeah,
Okay.
not
The
that
little
Pippin.
troublemaker.
Not that one.
Think about your life.
And I got you that James
Marsters.
James Marsters one,
Yeah, yeah.
which is pretty cute.
It was fun.
He
It
sang
was
"Happy
fun.
Birthday" as Spike
Yeah,
from Buffy the Vampire
he did.
Slayer.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was a good
that is a
time.
good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Spike would sing many happy birthdays, so it's pretty special,
is
you know?
true.
Yeah.
Anyways, sidetrack.
Yeah,
I
sidetrack.
I want to see
will.
this cameo.
So
I will show it to you after. I have it on my phone
Yes.
somewhere.
please. One question that we got from our Discord
Yes.
is
Ooh.
why is it that soap operas look like that? This isn't specific to Y&R, but I felt like it was an interesting one to raise.
Well, it's because they film every day, so production is a little more budget. Like it's a little lower. They're on a soundstage and they have to have multiple sets because they have so many characters.
Yeah, totally.
So all the sets will look cheap because they have to have so many of them ready
Yeah.
to go, and like they tear them down and put them back up to film the next scene,
Yeah.
and then and they're filming daily.
Yeah.
And it's usually one take.
Do they have a live
That's
studio
wild.
audience?
What's that?
Do they have a live studio?
No.
Oh.
They can't afford that shit.
A live studio audience for a
Oh.
drama.
Very
no.
funny.
I would be into it.
I would too.
Yeah, the whole audience just goes,
Yeah.
Every now and then they'll like do like a fan tour. Like they'll like give away tickets and you can go tour, and like they'll do it like on Entertainment Tonight or something like that.
would you do one?
Yes.
Have you tried to enter one?
No.
Nikki, why not?
Well, because it's in the States, and who wants to go there?
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, that's legit.
It's a
Can't
tough
argue with
time
that.
to want to go there.
Yeah, and they because they're on a soundstage, right? That's where they
Yes.
film. It must be
Yes.
like a lighting grid because I've never seen a
Yeah.
single shadow in
Oh, true.
any
They're
one of
blown
those.
out.
Yes, yeah, just like
True.
lit to the heavens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they share a soundstage actually with The Price is Right.
Really?
that right?
Yeah, yeah, they're like next door to The Price is Right.
Literally feel like there's more shadows in The Price is Right.
I love that.
Every now and then, if you follow any of the actors on TikTok, you'll like see them like behind the scenes, and they'll like be walking down the CBS hall, and then you'll come across the wheel.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That wheel is my fandom.
The magic of
Right.
television.
Okay, so say you had to make a montage of the most iconic moments of
gotcha.
the show.
Let's do it.
What are a couple that would make the cut in
Okay.
the montage?
Lauren and Sheila. They were rivals. Lauren was a villain. Lauren pretended she was pregnant to steal. Sorry, Sheila pretended she was pregnant to steal Lauren's husband.
Okay.
Whoa, drama.
Lauren was also pregnant. But
Real
Sheila,
pregnant.
real pregnant. And then Sheila, maybe Sheila even did actually get pregnant and then lost the baby and then pretended she still was pregnant. I don't know, something like that. But either way, fake baby. Lauren had the baby. Sheila stole it and then used it and then replaced her baby with a different baby who died like immediately of meningitis.
Oh,
Where did they get this other baby?
She was a nurse. She had
Okay,
access
okay.
you
to
know,
babies.
those babies they just leave lying around.
You never know. It's probably the 80s.
Man, fair enough.
So she, anyway, when Lauren found out, they had a brawl. I watched it the other day. I watch it all the time on YouTube. But there's a scene where they have this like blowout brawl, like fighting. It's like 4 minutes long, and there's not even any music. Like it's just them fighting, and it's all stunt doubles, and they're crashing. They're in a lab, and they're crashing into all like the lab equipment
Oh, no.
and like pulling and you can hear the hair pulling. Like it's wild.
You can hear the hair
Oh,
pulling?
Yes. Yeah.
That's drag.
So that to me is one of like that is drag.
That's drag.
That is one of the most iconic moments to me. Also in 1984, I want to say they aired the very first ever facelift live on television.
Wait,
What?
Because Catherine Chancellor, played by Jeannie Cooper, wanted to have a facelift in real life, and they decided to work it into the show, and they filmed her actual facelift and aired it.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was in the 80s, 1984-ish.
That's wild.
That's wild
Right.
for a show that would mostly be pretty low budget to be like, and now here is real surgery. It's like, whoa, what a
Right?
huge jump. It's not like, oh, I'm watching The Pit and there's a real surgery in
Yeah,
there.
when's Grey's Anatomy going to air a real surgery?
Right? Exactly. This is
Never.
exactly what I'm thinking.
Never.
Wow.
Oh, Meredith Grey to step it up and actually perform a surgery.
Yeah. Come on, Meredith.
Yeah,
Live on
prove
air.
it.
Yeah, Ellen
faker.
Pompeo, you're not a real doctor. Okay, so that's two.
Two.
Okay, three would probably be Phyllis, my favorite, running over Cricket and Paul on their wedding day.
Wait, with the car, I'm assuming?
With the car.
Yeah,
With the
okay.
car. Yeah.
Okay.
She's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Another one would
In the church? Like drives into the church?
No, I think they were like they just got their marriage license and they were it was something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
they hadn't actually gotten married yet
Why did she run them over?
because she hated Cricket.
Oh,
Obviously, Steph.
I mean, wait, who knows? She might have wanted to steal Paul.
It's true.
She might have wanted to steal Cricket.
Yeah. I
don't know.
A million
She
reasons.
didn't want either of them. But Cricket was married to Danny, who is the Ramalati that Phyllis also lied about the baby she was carrying so that she could steal him
Right.
from. Yeah, she was a groupie. He was a rock star. Anyway, moving on. A really good one was when Michael Baldwin. How do I word this? SA is involved. So basically, Cricket. This is Cricket before the Phyllis thing. She was a budding lawyer. She was working for this law firm out of law school, and she was working for this man who was like sexually harassing her, Michael Baldwin. And she kept rejecting his advances, and then one day she recorded him making advances, and she was gonna like get him disbarred, and then I think she did, and then he like hid out in the apartment next to hers, carved a hole in the wall.
What the fuck?
What?
Broke in. She wasn't home, but her best friend Nina was, so he tied her up and put her in the shower, and then Cricket got home. He attacked her, and then right before anything actually bad happened, Paul came in and shot him.
Whoa.
And that's when Paul and Cricket got
Whoa.
together.
That's intense drama.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, as soon as you're digging a hole in the wall of an apartment or a building of some kind, you know you've reached peak drama.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you don't
That's
dig
big villain
Yeah,
energy.
you don't dig a hole in a wall for nothing.
No.
You know?
Oh my God.
That's wild.
I think that's now 4. I have one
Yeah, 4,
more.
yeah.
Is it the shooting of Victor and the whodunit? Is it that one?
Oh, like a Who Shot Mr. Burns?
Yeah.
type of vibe?
Yeah, it was one of those. That was pretty iconic to me.
How long did they make them wait to find out who shot him?
Oh, could take months.
Okay.
Yeah, months. Oh, months. Yeah.
Months. The patience.
I know.
I guess when you're in, you're in.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
You're invested.
Yeah.
Do you still watch it daily?
Daily.
Daily. I
Every
love it.
single, there's another mystery. There's like 3 mysteries happening right now.
Do you have to like catch up on it? Like, do you ever go a day where you're like, oh, I didn't have time today? Or are you like, no,
Yeah.
I'll find time today?
No, I'll bank some episodes.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
sometimes you'll just like.
So Global TV has an app
Okay.
or a website, whichever one you're looking at, and they will have the last 5 episodes available to you. So you have to watch them within
A week.
those 5 days.
Got
Or
it.
within a week, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and then if you don't see it, then you never see it.
Wow.
Yeah.
At this point, those people must feel like family to you.
1,000%. When I was in high school, I had, you had an agenda,
Yeah.
a high school agenda.
Oh, yeah.
So I cut out a thing in the newspaper and put it on my agenda, and it was an article about how people who watch soap operas are happier than regular people because they feel like they have more friends.
Oh,
That's nice.
Yeah.
That is nice.
That is nice. Do you feel like it's made you happier?
Yes,
Amazing.
absolutely.
Delightful.
Those are my friends. They're in my living room every day.
Yeah, you have a connection with them, and you're invested in their storylines.
Yeah,
you're
I mean-
invested in what happens to them.
That is when TV is at its best.
Yeah.
You know? They live with you.
Yeah, they're always in your house.
That's nice. Always.
They're in your home.
yeah.
my home and
Digging
in my head.
holes in your walls.
Yeah.
Driving over your friends getting married.
Yeah, your friends. your regular friends and family, you know?
I have to ask, because obviously soap operas are notorious for their on-screen drama.
Yes.
Do you have any like juicy tea from behind the scenes of the show?
There was okay. So there've been rumors. There's never been any actual. Well, there was one. There was one actor who was fired for allegedly groping a younger actress.
No.
Okay.
To this day, we don't know if it actually is true or not. It's never been confirmed, but he did get fired. And I think it was a story that was the reason. I don't know if it was actually confirmed that was the reason he was fired.
Okay.
I think you know who he is?
Who? Eddie
I mean, it's
Cibrian.
public, so I guess I can say. He's an actor from Veronica Mars.
Who?
No way.
Michael Muni?
Okay, I don't know who
He was a
that
sheriff?
is. Okay.
Is
Probably
it the-
Brad Lamb?
Maybe?
Or, hold on.
No, wouldn't have been Veronica's dad.
Anya, he was iconic on the show. He was like an amazing actor. He made the show, but his ego did get really big because of it.
Oh my God,
Fascinating.
it was. Is this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sheriff Lamb.
Sheriff Lamb.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Oh, why'd you do it?
Well, I don't know if he did. I can't say for sure that he
Yeah,
actually
right.
did.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, but there was an accusation, or at least that was a fan theory.
Okay, it was a theory. There's no like real evidence
Right.
or
Okay.
proof. So
Right, because no one involved has ever confirmed anything.
Okay.
okay.
There'd been other. Okay, so do you know who Eileen Davidson is?
No.
No.
She was a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and when she got on, they were like, "Why is this incredible actress from Young and the Restless and Days of Our Lives coming on a Real Housewives?"
I'm only on season 2, so
You're watching?
I am watching Real
We have a lot
Housewives
to
of
talk
Beverly
about
Hills.
after. Can we
Okay.
change the subject right now? No, but anyway.
Pivot right in the middle of an episode. Sorry, everyone. I know you wanted to know
I have
more
to
about
know where it
this.
all started.
Have you done Real Housewives on the show yet?
Not yet.
No.
Do you have the person to do it?
We've
No.
had quite a few people pitch for it, but
Okay.
it's an exciting subject for
We'll
a lot
talk.
of people.
We'll
But,
We'll have to come back, but it took me this long to come back for my second one, so I can pitch other names to you too.
no, I like the idea of this.
Yes.
This is
So, what was I talking about? Eileen Davidson. So, in the 80s, there was a rumor, because it was the 80s, that she was a man. There was that
Classic.
old classic rumor of like, well, she's got manly features. She must be a trans
Yeah.
woman. Yeah.
yeah.
So there was
Look at
that.
that jaw. It must be. Yep.
Yeah, that was all over the tabloids. It was all
Oh,
over
boy.
tabloids.
Boy.
So that was the 80s.
Yeah.
In the 90s, there was a big one that Eric Braeden and Peter Bergman hated each other. They were Victor Newman and Jack Abbott, that in real life they actually got into a fist fight.
Interesting.
Yes, that was a rumor. I don't believe that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, not a lot of. There's a really hot one that is hot for me. So Michael Baldwin, the man who broke through the wall.
Yep.
He ended up coming back a few years later, and they redeemed
And
his
he fixed
character.
the wall.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
He fixed it. He
Yeah,
patched
he
it up.
just patched
He
it
brought
up
his
and
dry
goes home.
wall.
He
Yeah.
says, I'm so sorry, Cricket. I'm sorry I did this to your wall.
My bad.
So he came back and they redeemed his character, and now he's like super lovable. But then they brought on a younger character playing his brother. This is when they start inventing family members.
Yeah.
So his brother came to town, and then rumors started that they were never named, but there was always a rumor going around that 2 soap opera actors who played relatives were doing it in real life, gay style.
Gay style.
And,
Gay style.
It was them. That actor come to Toronto every year to do a charity thing every December.
Okay.
And they go to Woody's afterwards because he's gay, and he's like, let's go to, and he's never come out. I'm outing him.
You can go to Woody's and be straight.
Yeah, you can go to Woody's.
Lots of straight people go to Woody's.
Yeah.
Totally. That's a normal thing.
Wait, am I actually outing somebody right now? It's public knowledge. But I went to Woody's one time to meet them, and I was like, "Hi, I'm a fan."
That's so
Were they nice?
fun.
Oh, so nice!
Oh,
Oh my god, they're having the
wonderful.
time of their lives.
That's
yeah.
great.
That's incredible.
I got pictures with all of them. It was great.
Oh,
That's
well, we
so
don't know
fun.
their sexuality, but we do know that they're delightful.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's
the most
what
Yeah,
important.
we'll go with that story. Yeah.
matters.
The other actor who played his brother is fully out, and he's been trying to rally for his character to become a gay character, and they just haven't done it. And now he plays a gay character on Days of Our Lives.
I can't stress enough how shocked I am that in 50 years there's been so little gay stuff.
Yeah.
So little gay stuff.
You know who's one of the first people? I think the first actor to come out, not actor, but character to come out as gay on a TV show, on a soap opera, was Ryan Phillippe.
Really?
One Life to Live.
Oh,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Well, that's a really good segue to because lots of actors get their start on soap operas, or they did it early in their career. Have any big names, big celebrities come out of Young and the Restless?
Out of Young and the Restless, you know what? Not a lot.
They don't leave; they stay.
They stay.
They stay.
They say a lot of younger actors have left to start careers and then came back.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay,
it's
so
a good gig, it sounds like.
I think the biggest name might be Vivica A. Fox.
Okay, yes.
Vivica A. Fox, Shamar Moore.
I don't know that person.
He is on SWAT on CBS, and he was on Criminal Minds before
Okay.
that. But he's mostly known for The Young and the Restless. Like, if you watch one of his other shows, it's because you loved him in Young and the Restless.
Got it.
I don't know why I'm blanking on who else from Y&R was a big actor.
I read maybe Eva Longoria?
Yeah, she was on the show. I remember she
Okay.
played. She tried to break up Paul and Cricket too.
Gasp.
Oh yeah, she tried to kill. She tried to kill Cricket. She tried to kill Cricket in a bathtub.
Has Cricket almost died a lot?
Is she okay?
Yes. No. See, here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you a little.
Why everyone after Cricket?
Here's the thing about Cricket. Cricket is a nepo hire. She's played by Laura Lee Bell, and she is the daughter of William and Lee Bell.
I see.
And so she came on in the 90s as a teen model. There's no way in the world I'm just growing up. And then just became this like heroine ingenue who like was always at the center of drama and always saved the day and was always like in peril and always she became a lawyer and she was always like the goody two shoes. And this is why I love Phyllis so much, is because Phyllis
She was the
hates
Tori
her
Spelling.
guts. She was the Tori Spelling. She was totally the Tori Spelling.
Yeah, the Donna Martin from 90210.
She
Or
was.
the Joey from Dawson. Dawson's great.
Yeah, but
Was she
she
a Nepo
wasn't
baby?
related to them.
No, she wasn't related.
Aaron
but-
Spelling's
but she's-
daughter
yeah,
got like
okay.
the goody-goody sweetheart role.
Fair point. I was just thinking about the whole like angelic. She becomes.
You're thinking of the archetype,
Yes.
but these are like actual,
But this
like
is-
They're
nepo
actual
hires.
children.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah. So everybody wanted to kill her because.
Did she also
was
have a
annoying.
virginity plot line?
Yes,
Really?
I'm sure she did. I don't
Oh,
really remember. I was young at
Lord.
the time.
Lord.
Yeah.
So someone's listening to this episode, let's say, and they're like, I got to get in. I got to get into Y&R. How would you recommend someone start at this point in time?
You have to just start now. You
Just start, don't go back.
Just start watching, because here's the thing with the show is they rehash history all the time. That's the thing, is when you're on a daily show, they know that people cannot always watch daily.
Right.
So they repeat through dialogue what has happened to catch people up.
Right.
Okay.
And they do a lot of flashbacks. So you'll catch
Well,
up
they
on
have 50 years of
recent history.
footage.
Exactly. And somehow they pull out like these like flashback moments. Like, how did you even know where to find that scene?
Truly, that makes my
crazy.
head hurt.
Yeah.
Like the archive. They must have an archivist.
And the cool thing about these actors being on for so long is you can pull a scene from like 1982.
And it
it's
was the same
that
person.
actor.
That's
It's the same actor.
so
Yeah.
That's
fun.
fascinating.
Yeah, it's wild.
So cool.
And like all the fashion would have been accurate.
Oh
like
yeah, baby.
that's wild.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's pretty hot. So if you want to watch it at this point, you just got to start watching it. Do not try to catch up on previous episodes. I don't even know where you would find them. Where would you even find an old episode? And then just start Wikipediaing things as you go.
This just occurred to me, but I guess a lot of people will rewatch their favorite show. Like I've seen Buffy so many times, or Parks and Rec. Like you've seen.
How would you rewatch this show?
But that occurs to me that like you don't need to rewatch it because it's literally on every day.
I know.
That's so nice.
That is
As a fan of
nice.
something, just to be like, it's here and I can have it every single day.
Yeah. Sometimes I try to go on YouTube and try and find classic clips, and the good ones aren't usually there.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess they're hard to get a hold of if it's not like they're releasing box sets.
Right.
I assume that
absolutely
seems
not.
insane.
That'd be so cool if they did.
Do you know how many episodes there are?
Oh, it's in the tens of thousands.
Wow.
It's at least 13,000.
That's so wild.
And it's probably in the 20,000s at this point.
Oh my god.
Because every now and then they'll celebrate. They'll like have a cake. And it'll be like
We did it again.
Yeah, we
the
did it
cake
again.
just gets longer every year. They add zeros. We touched on this a little bit, but what's the nerdiest thing you've done in relation to your fandom?
Okay, I do have an answer for this. I forget what it is though. What is the? Oh my God! Here's what it is. I wrote into Soap Opera Digest. No, this isn't even. Okay, this is A in high school. I wrote so. You could get okay. So Soap Opera Digest one day asked something about super. Why do you think there's fewer super couples in soap operas these days? This is in the 90s. And so I wrote in with an answer, and I don't even remember what I wrote, but they published it. And I remember reading Soap Opera Digest, and I opened it up, and it was like, blah, 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 Ottawa, Ontario, NN. And I was like, that's me!
Oh my
Nicky
god.
Nasrallah.
You're an N.
I still have that Soap Opera Digest. I would collect
Can
my
you
Soap Opera.
send us a photo of
Yes.
your letter? Please. We'll
Now
put
I
it
have
in
to
the
go
nerds
looking
letter.
for it, but
Okay.
yeah, no, I can look for it. Oh God, which edition was it in? Because I still have all of my Soap Opera
You
Digest.
do?
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Incredible.
And when I started drag, I was like, I'm gonna make a dress out of all the covers. But how do you even? And I got tired. I never did it.
It does sound like a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah.
The other nerdiest thing I did was I wrote into the Young and the Restless with storyline ideas, saying I wanted to be a writer on the show.
Oh my God.
And I got a letter back with CBS letterhead saying, "Thank you so much for your submission. We will not be reading it for legal reasons."
Yeah, I can't.
Yes. Yeah. They're like, but hey, thanks for trying.
But you got
Yeah.
a letter
And
from CBS?
I got a letter back from CBS.
That's so cool.
really
I
cool.
think I still have. I'm not sure if I do, but I think I still have it.
Okay, now this
I
question
also
is
have a Phyllis scrapbook, my favorite Phyllis. I have a scrapbook of all her. Anyway, go on.
delightful. Okay, this is a very specific question to you, and attached. Have you ever done a drag act or character
Yes,
related to
I
this?
have.
And what was it? Please, I need
have.
to
Was
know.
it Phyllis?
It was, you know what? It's never been Phyllis, and it should be Phyllis.
It
should be Phyllis.
It should be Phyllis, but what it
And then do that speech.
I wish, that speech didn't make it into another number I did.
Of course. Okay,
That makes a lot of sense.
It did.
And you didn't
Good.
even have to rehearse it.
You know what? I didn't even have to put it in. I was doing a Diet Ghost show. Remember Diet Ghost?
Oh,
They were
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
amazing. And so they
Loosened
invited me to do
up.
one of their shows, and it was a slasher show. And they were like, "So what are your favorite pop culture sound bites and stuff?" And I was like, "Well, when Michelle Stafford won her daytime
Obviously.
Emmy," and I just said it in passing. And then they made the mix and they sent it to me. And then in it, the slasher grabs me, and then I say, "I'm in shock. I'm in absolute shock. I did not expect this in the least." And I was like, "You found that
my
soundbite off
God.
of me mentioning it once?" It was incredible. What was your question? Have I done? Okay, so the drag number
got
I
lost.
did was actually Catherine Chancellor, who is
The lesbian.
they were trying
The
to
almost
it didn't work.
lesbian.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
So she was the longest running character. So the show started in March of 1973. She joined, I think, in December of 1973.
Okay.
To kind of save the show because it wasn't really doing well when it first started. And then she came on and gave it a kick. She played this rich, drunk housewife who was an alcoholic, and her husband was leaving her.
In my experience, people don't love rich, drunk housewives.
Yeah.
There's a whole.
How do we get here?
Yeah,
How do we
no,
get
interesting.
here?
Huh,
I don't know.
fascinating.
I don't know.
Are you being
No.
sarcastic?
Yes. People adore them. They can't get
Anyways,
enough of
wait
them.
for our episode on Real Housewives.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's coming. So there's a classic scene of him saying he's leaving her and making her sign divorce papers, and she's drunk and can't handle it, and she's having a breakdown. So I've put that into a mix with Madonna's "Love Don't Live Here Anymore."
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I do that mix
That
every
is
now and then.
incredible.
Yeah.
That sounds wonderful.
She was on the show until she died.
What?
Really?
Yeah, she only died probably a decade ago, not even. And she was less and less on the show, and everyone was like, "Is she gonna be okay?" She was 80, 88 or somewhere around there.
Wow.
And there was her final scene was with the woman who played her rival, like a longtime rival, Jill, who the actress has not been on the show. She only joined in the 90s, but her character has been on since day one.
Wow.
So they were like longtime rivals. And because when her husband was leaving her, it was for Jill. Anyway, they became friends in the end because there was a point where they thought they were mother and daughter. Anyway.
The throwaway things that are coming out
they
of
were
their
mother and daughter. Anyway.
very casually being like, it's not important. They thought they were mother and daughter. It's not important. She hit her with a car. It's fine.
Don't worry. He just cut a hole in the wall.
Stop asking
whatever.
questions.
A friend in the bathtub. Don't worry about it.
We don't
Let
have
it
time.
be what it is. So their final scene was together, and it was they had this like nice talk in the living room, and then Catherine was going up the stairs, and it was like really sad. Like it was just like you could see the sadness in Jill's face, being like, oh, because she was like, I don't know if it's gonna be our last scene together, and then because it wasn't written as their last scene together, it just happened to be, and then like she was like Catherine, and then Catherine turned around and she was like, good night. She was like, good night, and they went to, and then went upstairs, and that was the last time we ever saw her.
Wow.
That's really moving.
Yeah. There's another actor who died on the show, Kristen St. John, and it was I'm going to probably start crying. It was a very sad situation because he was one of the actors who was part of the Black families who was like came on as like a businessman and like always had a really good reputation on the show. And then he was going through some struggles in real life. His son had committed suicide.
Oh.
And he became an alcoholic after that.
Yeah.
And then I don't know the circumstances. He may have committed suicide as well, but it happened suddenly. And they weren't expecting it. And he was still on the show at the time. And then they just kind of like stopped mentioning him on the show for a while. And then they were like, okay, we have to deal with this.
Yep.
And then they just wrote a storyline where his son went up the stairs to like go get him to come to like a dinner. And then he came back the stairs like devastated that he had just found his dad dead in bed. And then and then they had this really special episode where they gathered all the people who have been like part of his fabric on the show, and then and they just like sat around on the couches and like just talked about him and his legacy, and it was
That's really lovely.
that's the thing with the
Nice.
show is like you're on every day.
Yeah.
And like you become our family as audience, and then if someone passes away and they're still on the show, like it's like you actually are losing a member of your family.
Yeah,
It's
you
great.
need to you need a way to grieve that, and it's like it's great that they actually did address it, no matter
Yeah.
the circumstances of that person's passing. Of just like that character is important; it's part of your life.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Damn. I feel like soap operas don't get no respect, but I feel like they really should. That's really lovely. That is like, it seems like they create really good working conditions for actors.
Yes.
They are like a really wonderful, healthy addition to people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
Like that rules.
That's
Thank
lovely.
you.
That's lovely.
Thank you for seeing
Yeah.
us.
That's ugh.
We should all be so lucky to have such a healthy entertainment thing.
Legacy.
Legacy. That's the word. Thank you so much,
Bring it
Steph.
back to Hamilton.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna wickedly change the tone.
Uh-oh.
Because we're at our mini game, and it is a very different tone than the conversation we just had.
Great.
And it has to be a lightning round, so you got to go fast.
I'm ready for you.
Okay, so every soap opera has a cast of characters, and some are obviously better than others.
Yes, that's true.
In many ways. So we're going to play a game of marry, fuck, kill with the characters of The Young and the Restless.
Okay.
You get 3 characters. You tell me which you'd marry, which you'd fuck, and who you'd kill off.
This will be very easy for me.
Okay, round 1. Kane Ashby, Victor Newman, Jack Abbott.
Ooh, this is interesting. I'm going to fuck Kane Ashby because he used to be played by a really sexy Australian man who's gone, and now they've just replaced him with somebody else who's not Australian. How do you do that? Anyway. And then I'm going to marry Jack Abbott because he is very rich and kind of good looking. I am going to kill Victor because he's
You said he's a
so
billionaire.
controlling. He's a billionaire, but he is
okay.
so
Oh,
controlling.
that's no fun.
Okay.
He is so controlling.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't love that. Okay. How about Jill Abbott, Tracy Abbott, Ashley Abbott?
Aw. Oh, interesting. This one is hard because I don't want to kill any of them. But I will marry Ashley.
Okay.
Because she's like, she's really smart and like and fun.
And she got a fun reaction from you. You're like, oh.
Yes. Because
Okay.
she's Eileen Davidson from the Real Housewives.
Okay.
And then I'm going to sleep with Jill because even though she's currently in like her 70s or 80s, back in the day she was a knockout. And I'm going to kill Tracy only because she's too like delicate and sweet and nice, and that's not what we're going for.
We're not going for that.
We're not going for that.
Okay.
No.
Abby Newman, Sharon Newman, Victoria Newman.
I'm gonna kill Abby. I hate her.
was
She's
easy.
such a loser. So she's the first. Although this character, this actress who's playing her, the previous one, I would have fucked her. I'm going to marry. Sorry, it was Victoria and who?
Sharon.
And Sharon. I'm going to marry. Actually, I think I'm gonna fuck Sharon.
'Kay.
She's got big tits, and I'm going to.
I know you
Look,
love.
I get it. I get it.
I know you
You know I like my
love.
big tits. You know I like my titties.
So you're marrying Victoria?
I guess I'm marrying Victoria because she's rich. She's Victor's daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. How about, and I'm going to say this wrong, so bear with me. Chemo Wylin Abbott,
Sure.
Billy Abbott, Chance Chancellor.
Chemo, Billy, and Chance.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill Chance.
Okay.
Because he's a loser. He doesn't really do anything on the show.
So Chance Chancellor, what a name.
I know. I
Right?
had to put that
Okay,
name in
that's
there.
not actually his name. His name is Philip Chancellor the Fourth.
Sure.
But they
This
call him
is what
Chance
the
for
internet
short.
told me was his name.
Internet's a dick. I'm going to. Is Billy and Chemo?
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck Billy all day long.
All day.
I am
Okay.
so hot for that man. I also want to marry Billy, but I'm gonna marry Chemo because he was a really great, sexy Asian man.
Okay.
lovely.
Christine Blair, Hope Adams, and Ali Abbott Nguyen.
We're killing Cricket. Christine.
Christine is
Christine
Cricket.
is Cricket. Yeah, Cricket was her nickname.
Everyone been trying, and you're finally doing it. You're killing her.
I'm gonna kill her. I'm going to make
It's
it
gonna
happen.
happen.
I'm coming for her. And then Hope Adams and
Hope
who?
Adams and Ali Abbott.
Oh,
Nguyen.
Allie, I'll fuck. Allie's sexy. She's cute. She's Chemo's daughter, actually.
Oh.
And then
You're marrying Hope.
I'm gonna marry Hope. She's a wholesome, blind woman who lives on a farm. She's currently dead, but if we're talking about her as alive, then
Oh no!
Yeah, definitely they're all alive. Yeah, I think we
my
can
God.
definitely assure you on that front. Okay, how about this? Esther Valentine, Nikki Newman, Lauren Baldwin.
I'm gonna fuck Lauren. Love
Gotta
Lauren.
fuck
Love me some
Lauren.
Lauren. I'm going to marry Nikki because she is a well-to-do woman and she's part of society.
Love it.
Like high society. And
We're all part of society.
And by in some way. And then we're gonna kill Esther because she's a B character. We don't need her.
Okay, who needs it?
Nate Hastings, Malcolm Winters, and Kyle Abbott.
Fuck all three.
Fair.
Fuck
Honestly,
all
I mean,
three.
can we beat that? Can we beat
I don't
fuck
think
all
we can
three?
beat that. I think that's the end of the game.
You know what? I do have a real answer. I'm gonna fuck Malcolm. I'm gonna marry Nate, and I'm gonna kill Billy. Thank you.
All right.
Sorry, Kyle. I'm gonna kill Kyle.
And
Like
last-
Billy's not even here. You just and you fucked him earlier. So.
Did.
I would say last but not least, if you had to make your own of who you would like to fuck, marry, and then kill, who would you choose? What three people?
I would fuck Nick Newman.
Okay.
Joshua Morrow. That man gets sexier with age.
Don't you love it?
Yes. I'm going to kill Christine again. Let's kill her.
Again,
Cricket.
she's dead once.
Yeah.
We're bringing her back to life.
Cricket cannot
Kill her
get
again.
a break
Killing-
in this show.
You know what?
Can't stand her.
Classic soap opera. Bring her back to life. Kill her once more.
Right? And I'm going to marry, a lot of different people. Billy.
Billy.
Yeah, marry Billy.
Billy.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Before we get to the end of our episode, any hot takes you need to get into the world about Young and the Restless? What's
Hot
the thing you
takes.
have to put out there that people need to know?
People need to know.
Oh, hot takes about Young and the Restless.
just-
Thing
or
that
It doesn't have to be a hot take, just a thing
Final
that you're like,
thought.
I want you to all understand
I want you to put
this.
some respect on a soap opera and especially Young and the Restless because they have been doing it daily for 52 years now.
Yeah, what have any of you been doing for 52 years?
Yeah.
It is hard to write that much script and to memorize that much dialogue and to film that much all at once. It is a very difficult thing to do. So give them a little grace. They may not always be like the best actors you've ever seen, but they're having fun and they're providing us with fun. So let it happen.
Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with something just being fun.
Yes.
We're too serious.
Yes.
We're all too
Or
serious.
lighten up a bit. Cut a
Yeah.
hole in your neighbor's wall.
That's
you know?
right. Don't do any of the other stuff though. Just
No,
the hole.
just the hole.
Just the hole.
And then patch it later.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, at the end of every episode, we like to share our micro fandoms of the week, which we're going to do in just a moment. But before we do, you can connect with us on the internet. As we mentioned off the top, the show is always going to be free, but you can show your support in many different ways, including the money one at patreon.com/The Fandom Show, where, as we mentioned, you get episodes early, submit questions, get our nerds letter, get our patron podcast. Just come say hi. We love to talk to you. You can also find us on social media at Fandom Show Pod or at our website, thefandomshow.com.
We also have merch. You love buying stuff, right? Well, if you want to snag any exclusive Fandom Show merch, you can head to thefandomshow.dashery.com.
Ooh, Dashery.
Dashery. Ooh. So dashing. You can also, and this is super helpful, tell all of your nerdiest friends about us. Or, if you feel so inclined, your regular friends.
Look, does your grandma watch Young and the Restless? Get her on this episode.
Yes.
Get her to listen. Does your sister?
Absolutely.
Does your brother? Anyone who listens.
Yes.
Send this to them.
And we have all sorts of subject matters, and surely the people in your life like those subjects. So send them our way, because if you do, it really helps us move up in the charts. Word of mouth is really important for podcasts, so if you like us, please tell people about us. And also, if you can get on your podcast provider of choice, Apple Podcasts is great, but all of them also are great, equally great. I don't know. Anyway, and if you can do a little rate, review, and subscribe, that is so helpful. Even a one-sentence review helps us move up in the charts.
Just write kill cricket.
Yeah.
Just write kill cricket.
Exactly.
We'll know where you found it.
Yeah, it could be absolutely anything. But by doing that, you make it so that more people can find us and possibly find their next favorite fandom, which is the dream for us.
Do you like Discord? You probably like Discord.
Probably.
We like Discord. So come over onto the From Superheroes Discord where you can meet other fans or hit us up directly. We're on there all the time.
Absolutely.
I friggin' love our Discord.
Yeah,
so
it's
come
great.
over there. The link's in our social media link tree. Come get it.
Yeah, and if you're a 70-year-old listening to this because of Young and the Restless, Discord is a platform, not just the idea of discord being sown in society.
No. It's actually quite a positive space.
And Yusu Kim made our theme song. So moving on.
Micro fandoms of the week. Kaya, what are you nerding out about?
Okay, so this is a little one, but it's a good one. We just went camping and I learned some knots. And I'm gonna be honest, learning knots is really cool, y'all. I feel very powerful.
You did some good knots.
That's right. Our producer Andrew Ivanme showed me a new one for hanging a tarp, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm real excited about it. I have been sitting at home trying to not be on my phone as much, and naturally you need something to do with your hands, so I've just been sitting at home and learning knots. It's very satisfying. It's like knitting, but if you were not to do the rest of the knitting.
You just
and
do
just
it once
do
and
one
then
knot,
take it apart.
take it apart. So it's like really slow and ineffectual knitting.
Beautiful.
So that is my my current fandom. Steph, what about yours?
Well, I like to be in the know when it comes to popular culture and the things that people are talking about. So recently I had to delve into a new show, which I just finally caught up on, which is The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Yes. I watched the last episode that has been released yesterday, and people were like, buckle up, get ready. And normally, like, I watch some reality shows. I don't watch all of them. I haven't delved in because honestly, I get sucked in so easily. And this one, I have so many thoughts and feelings about these Mormon women. First of all, some of them, I'm going to say, aren't even Mormons. They say they're Mormons. They're not Mormons.
They don't really do any of the Mormon stuff,
Mormon
do
light.
they?
But some of them are like, I'm Mormon and I'm better than you, and just like really judgy of the people who are less Mormon. Anyways, it's a really fun show. It's give it a try, if only because it's so. The first episode is buck wild. Like it starts a year before the film, or I guess about a year before the rest of the show catches up, and it's wild. Highly recommended. I did not know what Mom Talk was before this. Now I follow their subreddit. I'm really invested, and I'm gonna say, I know that she's not popular on the show, and she's actually kind of an asshole, but I love Whitney. I don't know, something about her. She's wild.
Yeah,
Look,
she is
she's
wild.
better than Demi.
Oh,
I'm gonna say that.
does me even have a storyline? I watched one episode.
Oh, she has a big storyline in season 2. Anyway, that's been my little micro fandom for the last few weeks. It's just delving in and catching up. Nikki, what is your micro fandom of the
What
week?
isn't my micro fandom? I think currently it's like fitness influencers.
Okay.
Who just show up in my explore feed, and they're like, if you want these, do these. If you want these, do these. I love those.
Have you been doing them?
No, and
it's
I
just for
saved
watching.
them all. I saved them for
I
later.
do that too. I do that too.
I saved them in a folder called workouts. and I never do them.
No, me
But I
neither.
know that they're there for one day when I try to do them. They will be there for me to do.
You're like, what is the workout I do today? I have 30 videos.
Yeah.
If I want these, what do I do? If only someone was there to
If
tell
only
me.
someone was there to tell me to do these.
These.
Also stretching, ones that are like morning stretches
that's
or
good.
like things. Yeah. Like if
good.
you have if you want looser hips, do this.
I get those all the time. I got to loosen my hips, apparently.
I guess you do.
My phone is
We-
like, girl, your hip's tight.
We both need you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I save those and I'm like, yes, one day I will have loose hips. No.
I
can't.
mean, you don't know. Promising.
Yeah.
You know, there's a future ahead.
Yeah.
But you
believe
have
in
that.
you.
have that resource
do.
saved for yourself, no
I
matter
do.
what.
I do. Got it all
Nikki,
made.
we did it. We finally did it.
We finally did it.
did it.
Thank
Finally
you
talked about taking the restless.
so much for being here. Where can people find you? What do you want to plug?
Been waiting 45 years for this moment. Okay. Okay. What do I want to plug?
I was gonna say you're not even 45.
I'm almost October. It's coming
know.
up. I was in the womb when I first started watching the show. So to be fair,
okay.
Honestly,
to be fair.
yeah, that would make sense.
Okay. What am I trying to plug here? The Fringe. When is this episode coming out?
It's coming out mid July.
Okay, forget the Fringe. If you're in Kingston, Ontario, we're doing a week at the Fringe Festival.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it's called A Play We Just Wrote Just Now. It's me and my drag sister Hillary. Yes, we improvise a play in drag. It's very fun. Other than that, come to my drag brunch because I have several of those.
Yes.
And sometimes I go on tour across the country, so you can come see me there.
You
So make sure you're
did.
following me on the Instagram.
All right, what's your Instagram?
Selena Vile, Selena, like Selena Quintanilla or Selena Gomez if you're new. And Vile is VYLE.
You did it. You did it.
You
I did it?
You
Is that
did it.
right?
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Whee, I know my name.
Yay!
Here we celebrate everything.
And you, like your favorite character, have a lot of names.
Thank you.
You have a lot of names.
It's true.
Well, this has been an absolute blast. Thank you so much. And till next time, everyone, love the things you love and tell everyone about them.
Bye.
I have so much more to say.
Hooray.
The Phantom Show.